Yo, Ghana for me, I'm some of my cabas on Kokra, Santi Chiamu, Amoya, and Nananum TV, Asher for me, I'm my cabas on Kokra. Send Nananum TV, Asher, my boss, and the news update, they been on some Bremono, and there's a news update on Kuaya and some Johnny Paul Adom watching, and all the Betuja, or the same Atuja, Dicaditia, was a doing some Bremona, or Putoe, or Canapotokas, or English language. Timothy. Mumaya Mubura and Koti, or Bacanasa, Buburu, Miss Rose, may count Mabo, Madassas and Miss Robbery, Aha and Anam TV, Sanan Dedica Ocean, as I can also subscribe Miss Row, near Wadama, Muni, why anyhow, or Madame subscribe Nanam TV, my Uya, Bomadia like it, comment your video, nothing. They are a video so she say a year of flu, say a show a no flu, the Bomadia. Especially opinion or a comment section as a cinema, they be kind of young deal. Most I didn't tell them, suggest them names. I send a when you bet videos. You know, so I also we have a notification bill on the cinema and TV. They upload video on Sabeka and also being the public operation. The crack on Momada share and TV videos no be soon and ye be a share. Because a dear mediation and I was sorry. Now, your board runs your boardroom dear. A year Paul Adom Pottery, our young some journey. On also no year Botchema Edema Ghana Airport Company Limited. Or then some people are to the idea for a year NDC. A year summer Okudzeto Ablapa, our year MP Edema Northton. Sansu Joyce Bawa, our NDC ni penipa, our Dimua, just okay, we need our manusem. That's all. As also no DB or cabin so far a year some natty George or no so ye. Mashu be a year Ghana for more a year Ashamai. Just say people both friends of Fusuka Chimone idea. Dear Obu someone in say Omono almost say the Potocas and they said they are government are waiting. Just say Omonim say come to 24 day and say January 7 day. January 1725 nights or Masaba Bemu. Now, I didn't Mampene Kufuado. Casa Oka, none of set of the economy or near Ghana, Rebecca, or Becca, your Oka, or Becca, as he can't pay the Nadia. I don't know. I don't know some of who and this is who we will have this or Mumaka be beyond for Mum Treaty or Monka him found. And I said, yeah, or Busabus and Nadia, Emma Peneko for the kind of be pure more, a yet or Moncasana. I said, a year Paul Adom watching every concern be brave. Obusemus and some brave. Obusel is one some brave. So I won him a year good evening Ghana. So when you say a mode, Mumma yen trackers and the name could see the year Paul Adom watching Edo Tuja, your bar, about by Jones for adventure. Let me count aha and another TV. That was a brave.
President Mahama's speech. So I like communication, you see. So and I did a bit of communication work in my other lives. I did a lot of communication work, not just in Ghana, but in other African countries, in Nairobi, in Johannesburg, in Cote d'Ivoire. I did a bit of communication work, so I really like that. Okay, now I was looking for the communication angles in every story, and I looked at President Mahama's communication. Can you give me President Mahama's photograph, please? Or was I going to do the Twitter? Okay, let me do the Twitter. So after the president spoke, good friend of mine, a very happily married man. You know what I mean when I say he's happily married. You saw his fantastic 10th anniversary celebration. Congratulations, by the way, Uncle Sam. He's also I'm a prophet. He's an apostle. No, I'm the apostle. Is he a prophet? Oh no, he's a Christian. He's a Christian. It's okay. He's a Christian. He's not a prophet. I'm apostle. Yeah. Okay. Right. Sam George did not tweet. He tweets regularly. He did not tweet. That's why I'm calling it the silence on the NDC Twitter corridor. Sam George did not tweet anything. Okay. Who is next? Felix Ofosu-Kwakye, another good friend of mine, a guy whose brain I thoroughly respect. I have to say that. Felix Ofosu-Kwakye did not also tweet. So we were wondering, what is happening? Why are they not saying anything about what the president said? Have they noticed something what is happening? Sam George didn't tweet. Felix didn't tweet. Joyce Bawa, of all people, didn't say anything after the president spoke. These are people who are calling themselves the government in waiting. They were waiting to come into government. They did not have anything to say about the president's tweet. They had nothing to say. Same as the COVID time, they were not tweeting anything, because when the president spoke at COVID, what are you going to tweet about? I mean, the speech was so powerful. I don't know whether Sunday's speech was powerful. I know the market responded positively, but I don't know whether it was powerful. Was it? Maybe that's why they didn't tweet. Joyce Bawa also did not tweet. Okay. Dr. Manibuama, fantastic guy. He gets very busy on Twitter. After the president's speech, he did not tweet. Silence on the NDC Twitter corridor. That's against Ghanaians, because you see, for civil society, we are looking to see what the government in waiting is saying. The government in waiting must have something to say about the president's speech on Sunday. But if the key actors on Twitter, among the leadership of the government in waiting, do not say anything, then that's a problem. Are they agreeing with what the president said? Okay, let's continue walking on the NDC Twitter corridor. We're going to get into a junction where at least one of them tweeted, and we're going to show what he tweeted. Omanibuama, 0 tweets. Okay, who else? Oh, there he is. Sammy Gyamfi is a pastor with a Christ Embassy. You know, I always talk about that. Sammy Gyamfi, he can tweet 16 times a day. And he has a Facebook page, Sammy Gyamfi, Friends of Sammy Gyamfi, and I've been watching it all the time. I like to look at those. I read everything, you know. So I've been looking at it. Quite an interesting concept. It's not bad, you know. So, but he, of all people, the communications director of the government in waiting, 48 hours after the president, who is exiting the ballot, spoke about economic crisis, that is the main topic in Ghana today. The communications director of the opposition party, the so-called government in waiting, had absolutely nothing to say about what the president said. That's incongruous, isn't it? What was the reason why they couldn't speak? What was the reason? Why couldn't they speak? What was the speech so bad, so good? What was the reason? They all didn't say anything, because I would have thought that they would have been ready with their notes, that as soon as the president finished, they hit on Twitter and say, what was he talking about? This fact he said was wrong. This thing he said is not correct. This government is leading Ghana away. This government is leading Ghana astray. That's what they should have been saying as opposition. The director of the opposition's communication, my good friend Sammy Gyamfi, had nothing to say. 0. Nothing. NDC Twitter corridor was silent. Who silenced them? Was it the state broadcaster who broadcast the president's speech live? Was it Metro TV who carried it live? Was it TV3 who carried it live? Was it GH1 who carried it live? But all of these TV channels that I've mentioned also carried President Mohammed's speech live. But they were silent, dead silent. The government in waiting, the government that the people who are telling us that 2 years from now they are going to form the government, they were silent. So they have done an injustice to civil society, because civil society needs their information to be able to compare with what the president is saying, to determine whether the president is steering this country in the right direction or in the wrong direction. That is the work of the opposition, and they have to discharge their duty excellently. On this occasion, I have to say, regrettably, they failed. Well, did they fail, or they had nothing to say? Sammy Gyamfi, 0. Okay. But President Mahama and President Akufo-Addo are here. Okay, President Mahama also didn't say anything. President Mahama also didn't tweet. The only person who tweeted, and we're going to give attention to his tweets, was Sammy Okudzeto Ablakwa. He tweeted. On the NDC Twitter corridor, he was the only one who tweeted. What did he say? Oh, good. Let's look at it. Okay, so this Sammy Okudzeto Ablakwa, OS_OK, ellipsis 1D. Imagine how President Akufo-Addo would have been celebrated by Ghanaians tonight if he had said the following. Okay, so Sammy Okudzeto presented an alternative speech to the president, which is what you expect opposition to do. So apart from the corridor being very quiet, he wasn't quiet. He did. Okay, let's get into the details of what he said. This is what Sammy Okudzeto said. This is the following. He said, 1, President should have said, I am sorry for the economic difficulties I have imposed on you. Was he really serious? When there was doom, so did President Mahama come and say, I have imposed doom, so on. Even that one permits me to say, even that Even the doom so, which was happening in only Ghana, among 95 countries in the world, only Ghana. Today, the price of oil here, in Ghana is gone up. Cote d'Ivoire, Nigeria, Mozambique, Maputo, blah, 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 blah.